There we go. Okay, so here we go. We're recording now. The agenda, we've done the introductions, a little more than 10 minutes. That's okay. Got to know each other. Cover about Elementor. We'll do a tour, go over the settings. We'll cover the widgets, and we'll do a demo, and then we'll have questions and answers. So about Elementor. Elementor, as some of you are aware, it's a drag and drop live editor. Some of the other editors aren't live editing so much. I think some of them are now. Launched in 2016. We're going to be going over the free version today. There's 30 widgets available in the free version, and there's 40 templates that are available in the free version. There's over 5 million installed. It's the 7th most popular plugin now in the WordPress repository. There's 68 Elementor groups like this one in 27 countries with over 13,000 members. I just came from the Elementor Miami WordPress a little while ago, which was quite interesting. So what I have installed on this site is the Elementor plugin, the free version. I have the, maybe I don't have the Bloxy theme anymore. I might be an Astra, I might have switched that. But here's some popular themes that go well with Elementor. They're all lightweight, basic themes. Astra, Generate Fresh, Ocean, WP. Hello is by Elementor, just a bare bones theme. I've heard Kinsta's good. Nevi is supposed to be good. I haven't tried those. So let's just jump in here. And let's kind of do a little tour. I'm going to go to Pages, Add New. And we're going to call this Demo. And edit with Elementor. That takes us into the Elementor editor. And there's a few sections to this I want to go over. This is your, on the right side is where you'll be building your page. On the left side are some of the controls. For instance, you can drag things over here and drop them on the page. And they appear here. This button at the top left shows all the widgets that are available. Pro we're not using, we'll minimize that. So I have a header here from the theme, and I also have a footer here from the theme. If you go down to the very bottom left, hopefully you can see that. You can turn to hide the title here if you want. And I'm going to change the layout to Elementor Canvas. That'll hide the header and footer. With the Pro version, you have the ability to create a header and a footer. So instead of doing that, we're going to create it all here. So I'm going to...
Greg, later on when you answer questions, maybe you can talk about, I heard you say once that one way you work is you use the themes features to make the header and footer, and then for the pages you use Elementor.
I use Elementor for the header and footer with the Pro version. There are some other plugins that are free that let you create, I think it's called Elementor Header and Footer. It lets you do a header and footer outside of Elementor. I haven't used them. Yeah, we're going to look at this area here. If you click that, you're going to pick a section to use. So you can pick a section, whole section, or 2 sections. You can add sections. Do you want? Actually, these aren't sections. These are columns. Sorry. So the section's highlighted by the blue outline, as you can see here. If you click on the handle of the column,
hey, Greg,
you'll see there's columns going across. Let me.
Greg, sorry to interrupt, but somebody's got a buzzing noise going on in the background. Sounds like they're shaving. If they maybe could just mute their microphone, please.
You hear it still?
Yes.
It could be also just feedback.
I don't hear anything on my end.
It's gone now. Somebody must have
I was hearing it, but I'm not hearing it anymore.
So as I said, you can choose your section here. If you want to make changes to the section, you click this little button here. That'll bring up the properties for this section. I'm just going to give it a little space at the top here so I can show things a little better. So here we have a section, and we have, let me drag something into one of these, into a column. So the column you can select by hitting the little icon here, the pencil icon. And sorry, my other phone's ringing. The way I've heard an analogy of this is like the sections are like, the website's like a building, and each section's like a floor of that building, and each column would be a cubicle in that floor. So I don't know if that helps you or not, but I just heard that the other day. Thought it might be helpful. So going back to this, again, this button here brings up all the widgets that are available. You can drag any of these to any of these locations, whether it's a text, image, video, and you can see where you're dropping it because the blue line will appear. You can change your column widths by doing so.
Yeah, I love the WYSIWYG aspect.
Yeah, you can also add new columns if you want, or you can delete columns. You can duplicate columns and drag them into a new position, like so. So
did that heading text show up blue from a preset?
when I drop the text into a new area, like so.
Yeah, is it blue because that's a global option somewhere?
Yeah, it
or
is.
that-
You're getting ahead of me a little bit, but if you go to this hamburger menu, you can set the default color,
Okay,
and that's the primary default color, and that's where that comes from.
gotcha.
So you can
Thank
set
you.
all these up ahead of time, and those will come in automatically.
So are those 4 color blocks? Do you kind of choose a set of coordinated colors ahead of time?
Exactly, that's the best way to do it. That way they're available for default. Or you can set them individually as you go along too. And you have these
I think
palettes.
it's a wonderful concept to set them ahead of time instead of going, oh, I need a highlight color. What goes good with purple? And
Yeah, and if you change your mind later, you can change this to something else, and they all change for you, which is nice.
So
so
are
it
you
still sticks
designing
with
a
sort of the
page like that
CSS
for a particular?
global style.
Pardon? What was that, Carol?
So it's kind of keeps the principle of CSS where you have styles that apply to your entire website.
Exactly, right. So we kind of gone over sections. If you want to add a new section, you can hit this plus here. Or if you want to push it above, you can hit this plus sign here. It'll create a new section above.
Oh, so sections are like rows, and then each row can have columns?
Yes, somewhat like that. There's also something here called, let me create a section. So if you had let me get rid of some of these, sorry. So if you had 2 of these, there's also a widget called intersection, which you could drop into a column to create 2 new columns, or maybe 3 new columns, kind of to keep your work organized. I'm going to delete this again. Also, when you create a new section, you can go to the templates, and all these are available for you. So if you want to find one you like, you can just, let me look for a particular one that I was using.
So I had a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Are the templates generally used on a per page basis, or do you use them kind of site-wide, or what's the most common way to do that?
It's done by pages, but they do have like multiple of different pages. Like some of these they have, like here you have travel, you have a tours page, a testimonial page, a gallery page. So you drop these in all individually to your pages that you create as you go along. And then once they're in, they can modify them. So here I can preview this one. That's a pro version. Let me go back and grab a free version. See, it's popular here. So let's preview this one. And if you like it,
To me, that just seems amazing. I've never
you can
used
do
anything like that.
Yeah, it's kind of like having a whole bunch of themes at your disposal. So here I just dropped that one in. You can see it dropped in a section here with a background image.
Wow.
And these are all sections with the blue tab at the top.
Greg, do you
Yeah.
kind of build your own favorite page templates, and are you
I haven't
able
done
to
that
use
yet.
them?
I haven't done that yet. You could also, let me get rid of all these. You can also grab blocks if you want. So if you just wanted a header, you could grab just a header.
Is that available in the free version?
Doesn't appear so, but you could create your own. Well, that's because headers and footers are done in the pro version. I think that's why.
Okay.
But you can create one of your own and actually drop a couple things in there.
Greg, can you assign a header to an entire site?
You can do that in the pro version.
Okay.
You can actually build your header like you do a section and save that as a header, and do the same thing with the footer.
Okay.
I had a question, Greg.
Yeah.
In terms of media responsiveness, what size page are you designing right now? Is this a full page, or is it?
Right
part
now,
of the
it's a full page width. Let me actually show you that. So if I create a new section, let me give it a background color. So I'm going to go to Style. Let me back up a little bit. So whenever you select anything, you have these three tabs at the top of the Edit section. The first one's independent of what you're working with, the actual element. So if I have a text widget, let me create another column. Hold on. Create another, column. There we go. And we'll drop an image over here. Let me just select an image from the. So if I select the image, I have things like choose the image size, alignment, caption, link, that sort of thing. If I choose text, I'm choosing what the text is, the URL links to the size. So these are all independent of the element you're using, or the widget you're using. The style, styles are a lot the same for a lot of the elements, as well as the advanced tabs. So a lot of these apply to all, no matter what you're working with. There are some subtle differences, but that's basically how it works. So when I select this section, this isn't a good example here. I can click this little tab to preview. Anyhow, some themes, the page is only a certain width. So in order to extend that, actually, let me go change real quick. Let me get out of this. Go to themes. So I'm on the Astra theme now. Let me switch over to the Bloxy theme. Maybe I can show you there. Back to our demo, head with Elementor. Can you still see my full screen, or is it cut off now?
Looks fine.
Okay, that's not really helping. Anyhow, if your section cuts off because of the theme at a certain width, you can change this to full screen width. That'll push this section all the way out. The box, let me give this. So I have the two columns inside the section. Let me give a background color to those. I'll go over some of these in a while here. So you can see where it cuts off here. If you go back to layout and boxed, you can either make this full width, which stretches it all the way out, or go back to the boxed. Typically, you want your text to go way out to the sides, and you control that.
Is full width full screen?
Full screen, correct.
Okay.
Full width of your browser, say it that way.
Mm-hmm. And whatever you build, it stacks when you go to mobile?
That's correct. And you can also change the stacking order on mobile if you need to. Sometimes things will be underneath when they should be at the top.
How do you change the stacking order? Or if that's too complicated, it's okay.
No, it won't be. Hold on, I had to let someone in. Well, Linda, sorry, you were held up. I need someone to watch my participants next time. So anyhow, I went over about how you can duplicate. You can also right-click and copy, and right-click and paste. You can duplicate images, and that's true for all the widgets. You can copy, paste, duplicate. If I change the alignment, color on this, you can also, let me do a couple other things to this while I'm here. This is the title, typography, change the font. And I'm kind of skipping around because there's a lot to cover. I can adjust the size here. So if you have something you like and you add a new one, you can do a copy, click on your other one, and do a paste style. That'll copy the style from that object to the other object. It comes in very handy. We'll see that in the demo. There's also, so I covered the widget area. I covered content, style briefly, advanced controls, there's a lot to go over there. Hamburger icon, we looked at the default colors. You can also pick default fonts for your H1, H2, body text, accent colors. Let me skip some of these for now. Dashboards, no, I don't want to go in there. Preferences. One thing I like is these edit handles, which are off by default, which allows these things to pop up. Otherwise, you need to right click and go to them. So I find that just having that on is beneficial, makes things a lot easier.
Oh, that's great, because in my Mac, I'm having a lot of hard time with that.
Yeah, no right click. The Finder is also pretty powerful. Even if you're not using Elementor, the Finder, you can jump to all these sections, no matter where you are in WordPress.
Oh, cool.
But does it find an Elementor feature or like text in your website?
Anything. You can go all these items. I can jump to the home page. You can jump to plugins. You can go to users. These are all available no matter where you are. And just to Control E, I think it is. Yeah. So
Hey,
you are
Greg?
Control E, and you can jump to a new section.
Hey,
Yeah.
Greg, can you talk about a navigator feature? It just seems like it's a kind of a confusing. When you have a
Navigators, these little layered icon at the bottom left, second one over. Now pops up the navigator. So you can see now I have two sections. Let me close them up. There's this section and this section. So you can double click and say, label it, this is the top section, or we'll call it header. You can label these something else. If you want to open them, expand it, you can see there's a column inside there. Inside the column, there's a heading.
Oh,
If you want to turn that heading off temporarily, you can do that, which is very nice. If you want to move that up here, you can do that. Let me change this. Move the heading up to this other column.
wow.
Hmm. Oh, that's
So this
cool.
comes in very handy, especially if you have a huge page full of things. They're all labeled. It's easy to jump around from one to another. When you click,
Yeah, if you have to move something on the page, that's
yeah, that too. Well, you can move it this way, or you can move it over here as well. So replicate some of the items. Right. Very nice.
Thank you.
Sure. So Finder, we went over. When you're all done, you hit update. If you want to preview, you can hit the preview button. So it's not saved, but it's showing you a preview of what it's going to look like in a new tab. So as I work, I hit that preview a lot to open up the other tab. It automatically takes you there and shows you the preview, which is pretty cool. Showed you
Can I
templates.
ask a quick question?
Yeah, go ahead.
So whenever you did the preview button, if you hit the customize button, which I guess took me to WordPress, and you started editing there,
So if I go
What
to
would be-
customizer,
well, whenever you hit preview, you know, at the top section, you had a tab where you could hit customize.
Yeah.
let me go back to preview.
So if you hit customize,
Right.
I'm so learning. So that
That'll
obviously.
take me into the WordPress customizer.
So what happens if if I go customize there? Because I think I'm kind of dual customizing.
Yeah, this
yeah. How do
just,
these two things interact? The WordPress customizer and Elementor.
Yeah. Because I think I did that, and I'm a little confused with what I've done.
Isn't the WordPress customizer for themes?
it's the WordPress customizer for the theme you're in. So whatever theme you're in, you're going to jump to that customizer.
And is that a bad thing to do? Is that an incongruent kind of thing to do?
No, that's fine if you want to jump over there and make a change. I don't do much in the customizer. I put a logo or my title text, but everything else I pretty much do in Elementor.
Okay, perfect. You answered my question, so thank you. Yeah.
Thanks for
Yeah.
asking.
Sure. I was going to do a demo now. I wanted to find the theme that I'm going to be emulating here. Let me find it.
Greg, if I may, to Sunny's point, we had a conversation in one of the other meetups having to do with the Blocksy theme, which Gary is working on, and apparently that is designed with blocks in mind, which is why its name is. And so there's a relationship between page builders and this theme. And so I guess if you can tweak one or the other, and it's not clear to me, which one, would be the right one to do. And
Like I said, I don't use much in the theme itself other than those two items I mentioned.
right, you don't have to. Yeah, you don't have to do that, right?
Some themes like Astra, they have templates available when you buy their pro version of the theme, which are then available in Elementor for you.
Right, I was playing around with Astra. I use that one as well.
Okay,
right?
but I'm not sure of any other specific items you would do in the theme that you couldn't do in Elementor.
So one last question building on that. Obviously, that's where I've placed my logo because I have not paid. I don't have the paid version of Elementor. And I'm a little frustrated with my header building. So it sounds like I probably should buy the paid.
get the pro version or look at Elementor headers and footers plugin.
Okay, thank you.
Someone said it's great. I haven't looked at it, so check that out. It's free. If it doesn't look good, get the pro version.
Okay.
I like the pro version. I had to ultimately get it because I got frustrated. I didn't-
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah,
By the way, can I just add something?
sure.
Well, I have the pro version. I built the header. However, the headers are so limited. Like, I would definitely go design it from scratch. It's much easier to design it from scratch. If you're buying it just for the header, my personal opinion is not worth it, because the headers they have are just like the templates are. I mean, to me, they have so many limitations.
Yeah, I agree. They're kind of basic. They're kind of get started.
Yeah.
And they're kind of meant to drop a header in and then customize it from there and expand on it, just to kind of give you a starting point. Yeah,
Correct.
you're better off building your own. You can build whatever you want in the header.
Yeah.
All these elements or all these widgets can go in the header anywhere you want and be customized. So I'm going to build this site here. It's a little coffee site in real time, and I'll explain some of the things as we go along. How are we doing on time? We got an hour? Okay. So I'm going to go back into our demo here and start out fresh. So the first thing I'm going to do is create the, I already got a section here, hero image. So I'm going to grab from the style. You can choose a background. This background can be either classic, which means it can be a color, or it can be an image. It can be a gradient. You go to gradient, you can choose your first gradient color, and your second gradient color. I'll do one real quick. So we'll grab this color here and the red. Let me make this, I'm going to go back to layout for this section. Box is fine. Column gap, we'll say no column gap. Height, we're going to do a minimum height. Here we can adjust the height of that section. As you can see, we have a place to drop widgets in. I'm going to drop in the logo, which is an image. Go get my logo image, which is this guy here.
It's a PNG for transparency.
Exactly, PNG. Let's make a little, let's see. So back to style, back to the background here. So there are, let me make it a little larger so you can see what's going on. So right now, position's in the middle. You can move, this is the column position. Right now the column, you can see the blue line. Let me make the background of the column so you can see it in a different color. So there's our column. We go back to the section settings. Here we are on the section. So the column right now is in the middle. You can set that at the top. You can set the column at the bottom, or you can have the column stretch the full way. I'm going to put it back in the middle. Vertical alignment. You can have actually, if I do stretch, this is the actual element. So if I do top, they're at the top, middle, bottom. If you have more than one, you can put space between, around, or evenly between them on the vertical alignment. So the column's still small, but it moved it down to the bottom. So it's a little confusing. Get the hang of it. So we'll move that back to the middle. And I want to grab an image for the back. So we're gonna, I guess we can leave the gradient on, it won't matter. Grab an image for the background. I actually want to turn the column color back to clear so we can see through it. Sometimes it's hard to see the logo with things behind it. So I'm going to go back to the section under background and do a background overlay. So the the image is in the very back right now. The background overlay will be between the image and any elements on top of it, or widgets, I keep calling them elements. So the overlay, I can choose a color, black, and you can choose the opacity to how that looks. So a lot of times you want text to stand out. You want to make it a little bit darker. Could make it lighter,
Cool.
depending on which way.
Very cool.
So that's cool. So I think we're done on that section. Let's add another section below that. We're going to do 2 columns. Grab the section. I'm going to put some little padding above and below this section. Oh, not there. So I'm going to put 99 pixels on top, 99 pixels on the bottom. And I'm going to drop a heading in here. This is a coffee shop. So we're going to change the text here to our sweets. We're going to change the color, this color. Typography. All the Google fonts are available to you here. That's nice to have. I'm going to choose one called Logo, which matches the one in the demo.
Is it smart enough after you've designed it to only load the fonts that you've chosen to use?
Yes, it is.
Cool.
So we're going to grab a text editor and drop that underneath. Also want to change the box width of the section. So it's box, we're going to do 950. Let's bring it in, bring a little space on the sides. We'll change the text in the text editor. And over here, we're going to drop in a gallery. So go back to my widgets. And you can search up here if you're looking for a gallery. Basic gallery, drop that in. And let's go grab some images. Grab some tasty looking treats here. We'll grab a few of those. Drop them in. Actually, I want.
Where did those images, oh, you're just using the WordPress Media Manager to choose your images from?
Yeah, that's correct. These actually came from one of the templates. So that brought in the gallery. I want to change that a little bit. I only want 3 across. Those are going to link to the media file. Wide box, that's all fine. Go to style. Do a little spacing with a custom spacing.
Oh, so nice.
That's so
Just
cool.
like so.
I
And
can tell Elementor won't make you a designer. You still have to have the brains to know what looks good.
that helps, yeah. I'm going to drop the section and I'm going to say on vertical line it to the middle.
It's just
And
looking nice.
I think that section's good. Let's move on to the next one. Grab a new section. It's going to be 1 column. Change the background color. Pick this color here. And let's drop in a title. We'll change the text over here. And we'll change the color to the same yellow color. And we'll change the typography. We'll change the font to one called Shadows Intro Light. We'll bump up the size a little bit. Go back to content. Center that. We're going to drop in a testimonial widget. Again, these are all in the free version. So here we have the testimonial widget. We'll put in testimonial text content. We'll bring in someone's picture here. Change their name. Lisa Smith. And we'll take out her title. We don't really see that. Put in her URL here if you want. We want the picture on top, so we'll go like that. That looks pretty good. We'll go to styling. We'll change the text color. Make that white. Give it a little opacity. The image, make that a little larger. The name, change the color, the same color we're using. Typography, let's make that a little larger. Let's change the transformation to, let's do all uppercase. We'll change the line spacing, like so. Let's change the font to Ovo. That looks pretty good. There's also another widget. Let's
Oh, Greg, wait,
Yeah.
so you put a lot of effort into designing this testimonial widget. So, what if you had a page with 3 or 4 testimonials? How would you replicate this widget and kind of make it so that all 4 testimonials, if later on you want to change like the font of Lisa Smith to, can you do that for all 4 as a group, or do you have to later on do it one at a time?
You could do it through CSS. There's also a testimonial carousel that's available. There's also a lot of third-party add-ons that do all kinds of different things too. A lot of those are free. So there's different ways to go about that.
But you could still replicate this testimonial widget and then
Yeah, if I wanted another one of these, I could just duplicate it and give this to the person.
But you can't duplicate it to another page.
You can right-click here, and I can say save as template.
Okay.
Give it a name.
Oh, so is that a pro feature?
Okay, but if you change the font in her name, it'll only change it in the testimonial you're working on, and not in the saved template that you just made.
That's correct. If you don't use a default font and you change it here, you'd have to change it.
Is that available in a pro version where you can edit a template and it impacts all the templates you have all over the site?
I don't think so. I think once you use a template, it's on its own. I don't think it's linked to the main one. I'm not sure. I'd have to look into that and get back to you on that.
Well, the CSS selector might be the same for every one of those, right?
Yeah, CSS selector, you can target all of them.
Can you easily jump over to the CSS here, or do you have to go to the ye old CSS file of overrides? Certainly, it would be something to be aware of.
Yeah. Come on.
Oh yeah, I get lost here.
Somewhere in here, yeah. You could target that. Anyhow, you could select it by CSS if you want to change it globally that way.
So once you knew you wanted to change it, then you could say, okay, this is looking good, but I know I'm going to want to change these later, so let's make an override.
Exactly. And I'll look to see if you can change templates that have already been used. I've seen that.
Or use that carousel that you mentioned.
Other application, yeah. Oops. So I'm going to give it a little space on the top and bottom here. So again, if I put in something now with this chain, it's going to do top, left, right, bottom all at once. So if you click this will unlink these and let you do just the top and the bottom. There's also a a spacer that you can use to give a little space if you want. You can adjust that space as well. So that comes in handy too.
Does Elementor sections have default margins and padding?
Yeah, they do. If you go to the,
Okay, no, you don't have to.
yeah,
vary.
you can do, you go back to the dashboard under the Elementor settings, you can set the
Oh,
width and that sort of thing for mobile, desktop, and tablet. So,
so
yeah.
you can set them globally. That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks
Okay,
for
so-
asking.
Any other questions here? So we're going to do the next section. And I'm going to create a section here and give it some space at the top and bottom like I've been doing. Unlink that. Top, give 99, bottom 99. So here I'm going to grab an intersection and drop that in. That'll give me two columns within this section. So here's the section and here's the intersection. So we're going to grab a new title, drop that in. Change the text. We'll do a center on that. You can change what type of tag it is here if you want that in H3 instead. Go ahead and grab a different color. And let's change the font. And we're going to grab another widget called a divider right here. Actually, I dropped that in the wrong place. It goes here. Just set the width to be like so. Solid. Give it a little weight. Change the color to match. Again, let me go back and make this 940 like the others to be consistent. And let's center this. Content, center align. And let's give it some text underneath. And we'll center that.
Hey, Greg.
Yeah.
So what if I want to make these squares larger, wider? Can you remind me how, can you show me again? I don't know if you did that. So
you can drag them back and forth to change the column.
no, that's not what I mean. What if you want to actually use more of the white of the space here?
Well,
So
if you go to this section, that's
Yeah.
this content here.
yeah.
You could make it full width if you wanted, which would take it all the way. To
Oh,
the,
I see. Is that the only way? That's okay.
or you
all
can
right.
go boxed and you can set
That's
the
the
width that way. So yeah, I can make it wider this way as well, or narrower.
got it. Okay, that's what I missed. Thank you.
Hi, excuse me. Is there a way to have two screens up to see what you're working on a website size and what a mobile size would look like with the same layout?
Yeah, you can go down here. I kind of skipped over that. You go to responsive and see what it looks like on a tablet or mobile. So a lot of these, if you go and whatever you're on, these styles will pertain to something. Whatever you change on the mobile will be for the mobile only. So you could have, I was going to do that later, but You could have a different font size. So we're on mobile now. So this size now would be for mobile only. So if I go back to the tablet, you can see it goes back to normal. And that's true for a lot of the aspects. That makes sense? Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah, but also, is there a way to keep to have two devices, the sort of the screenshot of two devices up at the same time, like having two tabs up?
I think so. Let me see
No?
if I do a
Well, if you
preview.
had the same page open in two different tabs, right? You could have one set to desktop, one set to mobile.
Yeah, you could do that. It wouldn't have the same feature, but you could just change the width of your browser for the other windows, and it would emulate the same effect.
Oh, that's true. Now, so Greg, if you don't use that little mobile thing at the bottom, is the default that, or I guess, I mean, the default is whichever one you're set on, but then it'll adjust as the screen shrinks. Is that right?
Right. Let me go to settings here.
So a question might be, how can you tell the difference between setting something for just mobile versus seeing how things look in mobile, but changing something that will affect all three layouts?
Here I am in the Elementor, in the dashboard Elementor under settings. So under style, this is the content width set for the desktop. And here's the mobile breakpoint down here at 690. So you can adjust these accordingly.
That's really nice.
There's an option to hide the title if you're using headers and footers. If your title isn't labeled h1.entry title, I noticed Bloxy had something else, so you can change that here to target that element.
I have a question about the columns that you're building back on that tasty breakfast.
Yeah, we're back now.
If you drag a column left or right to make one wider, one narrower, is it doing pixels or percentages? Because pixels is going to give you Google Mobile First issues.
It's doing percentages, I believe. I think you can override that here.
No, percentages are better.
Column width. Yeah, it's done by percent.
Okay, good. Okay.
You can also go to structure. If you want to get back to exactly 50-50, you can click that. Or if you want 3366, they have a couple set ones here to get back to that if you want, which is kind of nice. Okay, we need an image on the right. Let's grab an image. Actually, this is not an image, sorry. We're going to do a background image instead. So we're going to go to Style, Classic, grab an image, grab this guy. And we want these boxes square. So I'm going to also grab a spacer and drop in the middle of this. That'll allow us to expand this to be square.
Can you put a background image in a column, say make the columns the even height and let the background image expand? Or
yeah, well, I have this, go to the column settings here.
And you could do a background image.
And I just have this background image. Position, you can set the position of that image. You want it centered, left, wherever you want it. Typically you want to do center.
Center.
And typically I put the size at cover. That way you get the entire image. So yeah, you got all the options you would if you're using.
What did you do to make it square? You dropped something in that changed it from rectangular to square.
Yeah, I dropped a spacer in, and you can adjust the height of that spacer.
Why do they call it a spacer? It's kind of an invisible thing.
Yeah, but it allows you
just make
you drop it in certain places. Like if I grab a spacer.
Oh, is it like pretending it's a transparent image?
Yeah, so here I'm going to drop a spacer right here. I can adjust the space if I want to put extra space between these items.
Oh, well, that's I haven't heard of that concept before. Thank you.
Sure. Get rid of that. Okay, so we want these aligned in the middle. Oops. There we go. Let's duplicate this. And I'm going to delete this side. And we're going to add a new column. I'm going to move this column over here. I'm going to change this title to birthdays and events. And we're going to add an image carousel over here with one picture in it. So let's look for carousel. And let's go grab a couple images for that. Insert. We only want one across. Actually, I want a custom size. This is going to be 470 by 380. I'll apply that. And slides to show. We only want one. Image stretch. No. Arrows and dots. You can see our arrows here, and our dots at the bottom.
Oh.
You can go just arrows or dots or nothing if you want. We'll keep it on arrows and dots.
Is that auto slide? If you see none.
Yeah. Auto slide. Additional options. Autoplay is on yes. That could be on no.
There you go.
Pause on hover. Believe me, they thought everything. Animation
Just
speed, pause on
gotta
interaction.
find it.
That is so cool.
You can do fades instead of slides. Animation speed, direction you want to go. We'll leave it at that. I think we're good with content. We'll go to styling. We want to move the dots to the inside.
Oh.
Now they're inside. Likewise, you can move the arrows to the outside. We'll do that in a bit. So that's good. Let's add another intersection. We'll duplicate this one.
Can the arrows be eliminated?
Yeah.
I couldn't see anything.
If I go to content, navigation,
Okay.
get none option. So that'll get rid of the arrows and the dots.
Darling.
You got all the options, arrows, dots, arrows, dots.
Elementor page.
I may have missed that. I stepped away.
It's really cool.
So we'll move this on this side. And we'll change the text here.
Food?
Yeah.
Fresh coffee.
Yeah.
That looks good.
Get in on that action?
Yep.
Yeah, we're going to put a video on the right. They have the video can be a link to YouTube. It could be a Vimeo, Daily Motion, or you can, if you have it in your gallery, you can self-host it and drop your link in there that way. We'll leave the YouTube in there for now. Change the start time, the end time, that sort of thing, autoplay, all the things you'd want. There's also an image overlay, which you can turn on. Put kind of a placeholder over the image, like so. So when you go to play, it'll start going. I think I mentioned this before. Besides the preview button, you can hit this little tab here. If you want to do a quick preview on things, it's also handy.
Hey, Greg.
Yeah, go ahead.
Quick question about images and taking up space. So I have a website, and I'm being told that when people are accessing it in other countries, let's say in Africa or India or whatever, they're having a hard, it doesn't load as quickly. Is that because I'm putting too many images, or is it because my images are too, my pictures are too big? I mean, what could be
They may need to be optimized, which is always a good thing, even for people here, so they load faster.
Okay.
It's bad if they don't load at all, but it's not good if they take too long either. So you always try to optimize your images.
Okay. And can I do the optimization inside of the library? I guess that's in WordPress, right?
That would be in WordPress. I understand WordPress is going to be adding that pretty soon.
Ah.
I know you can crop now and do some aspect ratio and things like that, but they're going to be adding more features soon in the next upcoming.
Okay.
So let's go ahead. Let's add another section.
I have a question back to your video. When you put the overlay, it was something that was set up that caused the video to start playing. So what was special about your overlay that caused that?
No, the overlay didn't. I clicked on it. That's why it started.
Oh, okay. Just the act of clicking on the video, whether the overlay was there or not.
Sometimes I get used to just clicking on objects like this. Click on the video, it just starts playing.
Okay.
But to avoid that, you want to click on the little handle.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. And under video tab on the left here, you can choose whether you want it to autoplay. So if you have that turned off, it won't play until you actually hit the playhead. Also on image overlay, you can change the.
So where'd the triangle and circle come from? Was that something you created ahead of time?
That's the image overlay for video.
Oh, okay. It's built in.
You can change the style. So this is actually a 4:3 ratio. The playhead, you can change the color of that if you wanted to do yellow here.
Okay.
Change the size of that as well.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
Isn't that cool? Wow.
Well,
Yeah, like who needs Photoshop? My goodness.
Put a shadow on the playhead. I mean, lots of options. And again, this is all in the free version. So let's do another section. We've got 2 more to go.
Hey, Greg,
quick.
If I could just jump in real quick on this. Someone just said, I think it was Cal said, who needs Photoshop? Well, there is still one good reason for editing your image ahead of time. The load times will be faster because the site won't have to process all the different overlays and things that you're doing. So there are still some things you need to balance when you think of that.
No, I'm just thinking of, I used to build custom overlay. I'd take an image from the video and put the little circle and carefully center it and the little triangle, and it's like,
One step less.
Oh, yeah.
Another section, we're going to add another image to the back. Actually, we're going to use the one we had at the top, this one here. And we're going to give that an overlay. Overlay, color, black, dark that up, opacity. That's good. Let's grab one of our titles here. I'm going to copy this one, save time, paste that in. We're going to call this our suite collection. And we want some text editor underneath that. Put in some text. Go to style. We want that centered. Let's change the color to white. A little bit of opacity. We want to change the, give some space to the sides. So we're going to go to padding. I'm going to go to, you can choose pixels, EMs, or percent. I'm going to choose percent. So we'll do, 22 on that. Unlink these first, and we'll do 22 here and 22 here. That looks good. And let's add another, do an image carousel below that. Drop that in right there. And we'll grab some images for that. Image size, we're going to do a custom on that. I'm going to go 400 to 250. Apply that. Images to show, we want to show 3.
Greg, when you just picked those image sizes, were they in an aspect ratio that you knew, or is this just?
These dimensions I got off the existing site. I don't know, let's try changing this to 200. So yeah, it changes it, but it's going to crop off some of it. Yeah, you would need an aspect ratio correct to start with if you want to show the whole thing.
Okay.
So I'm going to show 3. I'm going to scroll 2 at a time when they scroll across. So you always see the last one. And we're just going to do arrows only. And let's go to style. Arrows, let's put those on the outside. Outside. The image itself.
Wow.
Let's change the spacing a little bit. Do custom.
That is so
Yeah, that looks good.
What did you do to get them in a row again?
They're in a row automatically. This is the image carousel, so they're going to line up in a row.
So why are they not just stacked on top of each other and using the dots? This is like a film strip.
Yeah, this image carousel is like a film strip. That's how this widget works.
But what did you do differently than the one you showed us earlier?
I only had 1 image in it, this one. Oops.
I thought you started with 3. It's got 3 dots and you get 3 images.
Yeah, there's 3 images, but if I click the dots, I can go between them.
Right. So why aren't they laid out 1, 2, 3 left to right? Why are they stacked on top of each other? What makes them do that?
Where is it stacked on top of each other?
Right there. Those guys. This first one you put in, it's almost a square aspect ratio.
I think it's because he actually changed. There was a feature where you can set it up so it's it's only 1 at a time.
Yeah, 1 at a time.
Or 3. This one here, he specifically amended to make it 1 at a time.
Right. Thank you, Linda.
Okay, so it's a setting.
Yeah, it's the same object, just a setting. So this is set at 1 at a time. This is set to show 3, but scroll 2 at a time.
Where's the setting?
Yeah, where's the setting?
So if I go here, it leaves the last one there and scrolls 2 at a time. So I'll go back to the setting. Some content.
Yeah.
So here's the number of slides to show. So I want to show 2, I can just show 2.
That is so cool. Thank you.
And this is just how many to scroll each time you want to scroll.
So
if I set this to 5, the whole file would scroll off.
Oh my goodness.
Greg, can you if it's in a carousel, the images, can you click on the images while you are on it? It will pop up as a big image. Can it do that?
Yeah, let's do a preview on it.
Okay, sorry. I'm thinking of photography.
Let me go back. Content. Link. I'm going to change the media file.
Okay.
Update, actually, just preview again. Now they open up. You can go this way.
I think that's what I'm going to use for media carousel. I think that's
was there another, Greg, was there another choice besides Lightbox? Where you've got Lightbox, what's the drop down say next to
Lightbox? Choose media file. Elementor has its own Dropbox, which back in the dashboard is set to its own Lightbox. But if you had another Lightbox and set it to media file, you can use that one instead.
Okay, on Lightbox, when you drop down the next drop down, oh, I'm sorry. Hang on a minute. We've got an emergency alert. I'm sorry.
No problem. So I'm going to add a button to the bottom. Haven't done any buttons yet. We'll put that right under here. And we're going to change the text to more suites. And we're going to change the
Color.
text color to that. Background color, we want that to be invisible, so we're going to change the opacity all the way down to nothing.
Nice.
Border, we want a solid border. Give it a width of, say, 4. And looks like it's already the right color.
Mhm.
Make sure. Okay. Border radius, we're going to give it a border radius, something like 22, so they're kind of oval. Maybe a little bit more. Let's go back to content. We want that in the middle. Looks good. And let's give it a little more space. I'm going to grab a couple of the spacer widgets and drop one here. And we'll drop one here as well.
Nice.
So that's looking good.
Mm-hmm.
One more section and we're done.
Oh, Greg, one
Yeah.
question. So what if you want to set up where more suites goes to a different page?
Yeah, target blank.
So more, it's set on hashtag now, so you can put whatever URL you want in here. You can link to
Got it.
new window, add a no follow, put your custom value here. Say,
Okay, wait. So you have to add, so that's where you have to add the URL from WordPress, right? Or the page.
the page URL from WordPress, right?
Okay, got it. Thank you very much.
If you want to jump to another section of the page, you could just put other section here as a tag and label that appropriately, and it'll jump to that section of the page as well.
Greg, when you do that link and you start typing the name of an existing page on your site, does it do that WordPress little thing where it finds your page?
Like that?
Yeah. Okay, good. Thank you.
So yeah, one more section. This is going to have 2 columns. And we're going to grab a heading here. Let's give some space, a little more padding, unlink it. Always forget to unlink. 99 top, 99 bottom. And again, I want to set this at 940 to match. Change the text. This is the contact information. With that centered, make that H3. Style. Let's make this one just black. Oops. Let's make the size a little bigger. Change the font. And let's put a icon list. We haven't used one of those yet. Icon list. Under here. We'll put some of our contact information. So those are these 3 items here show up here. If you want to add more, you can do so, or delete them. Delete.
Oh, come on.
Okay. So the first one is the address. Silicon Valley, California. And the icon, we want to change that to a map icon. Got all these available.
Isn't that cool? So easy.
Next one, let's make this the email. Type. And we'll give that an envelope. This one looks good. And let's do a phone number in the last one. Like so. And let's give that an icon of a phone. This will work. And then we're going to go to styling. And I'm going to change our icons, make them a little larger. Change the color, say something like that. Oops. While we're at it, we'll change the text size a little bit too. Indent those if you want. That looks good, and then we'll drop a map in. Maps over here, drop that in. Oops, I don't want an image. It's not a map, it's an image. Map. There,
Yeah.
it's Google Maps. Thank you.
Can you type in the exact address and I'll put that map there?
Yeah, whatever address you want. There is no Silicon Valley City, but it's smart enough to figure it out.
Yeah.
That still requires a Google Maps account, right?
No, it does not.
How does that happen? Wow.
I don't know.
Wow.
This is so cool. I'm learning.
Who knows where you are all the time? There is no privacy.
Tracking this. So let me just do one more thing and then we're done. And we'll put this at the top. And we'll just drop in a heading. Copyright 2020. And let's change that to a just a div. Center it.
What does div mean? Sorry, I'm total.
Well, you got headings which are on one line and have padding above and below.
Right.
Paragraphs have padding as well. Divs don't have any padding associated with them.
Okay.
All lines on one line.
Okay.
There's a little padding to the top. Top 22. Change the color. Typography. We'll do a. Let's change the weight to 100. And change the color to this. I think that's good. We'll do an update.
Nice.
And let's go to the live site. You can hit the hamburger menu and do view page.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go.
Oh my gosh. I feel like I should.
Greg, that is so spiff, so pro.
Like that?
Very cool.
Oh my goodness.
$1,000 page.
We're
How
done.
long did it take you to get this good with Elementor?
It's been a while. Once you know where everything is, it goes pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, once you know where everything
copying
is.
another site, so I had to kind of figure out what they were doing to make things a certain way.
Okay, when you squeeze the page down, what happens?
It will adjust.
Right, good test.
Well,
It will adjust. It's the way he set it up. Isn't that cool?
Look at that.
Awesome.
You need to go in here and tweak things a little bit.
Hey, Greg, can you are the settings adjustable depending upon whether you're on tablet or mobile or desktop?
Yeah, if you go to, not the navigator, you go to responsive mode, you go to mobile,
And then you can adjust it
you
too.
choose this, and maybe I don't want that large one, I want just a thumbnail there instead.
that only shows up on mobile?
That only shows up on mobile. So the size that's too big, you can go small.
Okay, do that again. Please, please, show me that. That takes us hours.
Click the navigator icon, bottom left.
Yeah.
Go to the side, you have 3 sizes. Mobile, and then select the item you want and change the attributes or settings for it. And these settings, if it has a little icon there that says mobile, it's only for mobile. Of course, this thumbnail on that, it's not right. That would.
That's very similar to the old slider revolution. I haven't seen that on a web page. That's cool.
So yeah, not everything's available. The alignment you can change, but not the H tag, not this. This doesn't apply. These are all coming from the main one. So certain things, I'm sure they may make changes to that in the future.
Okay, I got a question. Why would you even start with a theme? I mean,
you need a theme in place.
Yeah.
WordPress won't work without a theme.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. You're right. You're right.
And Elementor has a theme called Hello, which is kind of a bare bones theme.
That's what I'm using too.
I heard one called Skeletor or something like that. It's supposed to even be even basicer, but.
And why did you choose this particular theme, whatever you chose? You've worked with it before, it was familiar?
I worked with Astra and I like Astra. I haven't used the other ones too much, but I know they're quite popular.
So you can use Elementor with an Astra theme?
Yeah, I'd recommend looking at these themes here. Astra is my recommendation. Generate Press, people love that. Ocean WP is popular. Here's the Elementor one. Kinsta I haven't used, and Neve I haven't used, but I hear they're up and coming as well. Oh, and Bloxy, I didn't add Bloxy to the list.
Can you go ahead and change one of those themes, and how would it look if you did?
Sure. Let me go back to the dashboard. Actually, it's not going to look any different at all because I'm not showing a header or footer, but we can do that.
Oh, that's where the customization, okay, that's where the theme comes in.
So let's try Generate Press. We can do a live preview.
What was your answer again to why would you ever use a theme?
You have to.
You have to.
Okay.
But it pretty much ignores most of it. There's another theme builder called Oxygen, which completely ignores everything in the theme.
Seen that one. Can you do a live preview on the Hello theme?
On which one?
Hello.
Sure.
Which is supposed to be basic.
So you can see there's very little options here. Site identity, menus, homepage settings.
Okay, and which
So these would all apply with, I think.
What pro plugins do you think are best? Or what plugins do you think are like critical?
I'm still evaluating plugins. I don't use a lot. There's several I've heard about. Essential add-ons, premium add-ons, one called Live Mesh. I can bring some of those to the next meetup, but there's a lot available.
It also depends upon what you need to do with the website. I mean, there are some places where you need more information than a basic form, and so you might need a forms plugin.
Right.
Yeah, and a lot of them duplicate their widgets as well. It's very similar on a lot of them.
Okay.
Now, I imagine there probably is some sort of contact form widget. Now, I don't know if that's in the free version or the pro version of Elementor, but it's probably in there, right?
Yeah, that is in the pro version.
How much does the pro version cost?
I think it's $50 for one site.
Yeah.
Or
a year.
$200 for 1,000 sites.
$49 a year. And like $89 for 3 sites, and $159 or something for 1,000 sites.
And that's a year. That's per year.
Per year.
Per year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if it expires, you can still keep using them. You just don't get updated.
Yeah. Right.
That is crazy affordable.
I'm going to quickly go through all the elements in the free version. We have a heading. We covered intersection, image, text editor, which you used to, the whatever you want, the video.
Liftoff of the Delta rocket carrying glass.
Got that one for Gary. Button widget, dividers, I didn't show you dividers, but there's all kinds of different dividers available.
Okay, that's nice.
Bunch of them. Spacers we covered. There's a spacer between here.
This is the free version, right? This all comes with
These
free.
are all in the free version, yeah. Icons, we didn't really look at icons too much, but
Yeah.
Now, if you designed the page using Elementor Pro for a client, and then you upload the page to their server, and then they want to make changes to the page themselves, they're going to need to buy Elementor Pro in order to make those changes, right?
not if you give them your license.
Oh.
If you have a license for 1,000 sites, it's easy to give them to your clients and not worry about them.
Oh, really? Okay. That's
Or I
good.
guess the standard thing I do is I buy the license for their site, and then whoever maintains their site, they keep the license up to date.
They're paying $50. You might as well do the Pro and still charge them the 50, but keep it under your name.
That's generally the best practice that I'd follow.
So we have all these icons available too if you want to use those anywhere.
Hey, Greg.
Yeah.
Regarding the license, when you say give them, do you mean just the login information? I mean, can you have multiple logins so they don't have access to your other sites?
Doesn't it embed the license on the site so you can't read it?
You go to, well, I don't have the Pro enabled. Let me do that real quick.
It would just be the username and password for Elementor that's embedded onto their site. So they wouldn't be able to visit any other sites that you have access to.
Okay, okay.
Actually, what you do is you go in here, site activation. You need an account with Elementor.com, and you can just switch accounts, and it takes you over to their website to verify the account, and comes back. You don't need to enter any keys or passwords or anything like that. It's all done through the browser.
Cool.
And again, I would suggest, I mean, if you have the license for 1,000 sites, fine if you want to do it that way, but I think it's best to have the client somebody in their IT. This is what I've done with my clients, is have somebody in the IT department or whatever, marketing department, whatever, in the client register and buy the software, then just give me the login so I turn it on for them.
Right.
Yeah.
That way you never have to worry about
Crossing.
Exactly. Or if I choose later on to drop Elementor and use something else, then their site breaks. You know, you don't want things like that happening, right?
No.
So true.
What was the intersection feature? I didn't get it when you explained it the first time.
Intersection lets you put another section within a section.
Oh, intersection. Okay, got it.
Yeah. And
hey, Greg, it looks like Sanjana has a question. Sanjana?
Yes. So I have my site, and on one of the pages about me, I had like a background of my image, and I wanted my text on the side, because if it's in the middle, I don't know if I can share my site and show that.
Hey, you want to try that? Let me stop sharing.
Okay.
I don't know if you share, if I need to turn something on to let you do that.
Okay, it's host disabled attendee screen sharing. So.
Is it working for you?
Not yet.
Okay. Anyone know if I need to enable her to do that?
You do, yes. But she also shared the link already in the chat.
Oh, okay.
Right up near the top, right?
Yes.
WP IQ90, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I don't know how to change it to my photography site, but maybe.
Well, let me.
Yeah, so on the About Me page, the text is right off the screen.
Right. And I had gone in and changed it to absolute on there. Are you bringing it on?
Yeah, I'm going to bring it up over here. You weren't able to share, right? It wouldn't let you?
Yeah, it won't let me. Well, let me see. Yeah. Oh,
let me stop again. I'm sorry. Go ahead, try again.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I need to do something in Zoom to allow you to do that. Security. Leopard. There you go. You should be able to do it now.
Okay, I'm gonna try. There we go.
Learning Zoom as we go along.
Okay, desktop. So you will see me. Hold on while I get out there. So a couple of things. If I go to About Me page, I liked how the text was on the side, even though the template was to be in the center. And so when I go back to kind of other pages, people don't see that text because I went ahead. How do I do that? Oh my gosh, it went too fast. Edit with Elementor. There we go. So you can see that, and I can show. So this part is my text, and I went into advanced, and I worked on positioning, and I moved it off the page, which probably works on my screen, but maybe not others. So I guess Ted said that they couldn't see my page. The text was cut off.
So your image is a background image to the section?
Yes, this is a background image to the section.
And the text is in a column?
Yeah, it was in a kind of, I don't know, I picked up a template where it was in the center. So you see there, it's highlighted.
Yeah.
To be here, but I kind of like it on the side because with the black background and light background, the text was hard to read. So I wanted it on the side.
Oh, it looks very cool this way.
I know it looks really cool, but you know, if you go into other previews in the responsive to mobile, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's cut off on mine in Google Chrome.
Yeah, so it's cut off over there too. So
what you might do is create a whole new one for mobile and hide this one in mobile and show the other one instead.
Okay, I could do that. But
Well, on mine it's cut off on the desktop, not the mobile. It cuts off.
You're losing part of the text.
I guess probably about halfway through it.
No, what is that?
About the middle.
What widget is that's in?
What do you mean widget?
When you clicked on that, what is that in? That's a heading. Is it in a column?
Yeah, it's this one.
Yeah. Did you manually position that?
No, it was in a template that I pulled like in a block.
Yeah, go to advanced.
Okay.
You go to what's that say? It's really small on my screen. This is Pro?
Yes, it's Pro.
Column.
I think you're looking at the column settings and you want to look at the text box settings. I think you have the text kind of moved away from the column.
It's hard to tell on my screen.
Yeah, what you want to do is, I think you want to have your columns set up so that you're not having to move your text outside the edge of the column,
exactly.
Which it looks like what you did.
Right, so that's what I probably did the mistake.
So what you probably want to do is probably have, you probably want to have a column that goes at full width.
Right.
And then anchor your About Me box to the right on that.
Oh.
I mean to the left on that, sorry.
Okay. So maybe I'll do that. So give that layout, column width full, or
I would well,
I'm trying to
that would probably be in this probably.
How would you get our text
I'm a little new to it, but that
wrapped
might be in the section
short?
first. Yeah.
okay, in the section here.
Can you bring up the navigator? Maybe it'd be easier to see what's.
Yeah, the navigator would be good.
So would it be here?
The next one over, the three little sheets of paper. Yeah, that one.
Thank you. Icons. Yeah, navigator. There we go. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Column, and what's below that?
Can I blow that up?
Yeah. Click on the down arrow on the first section up above. Yeah.
Up higher. Up higher.
Oh. No, that's-
No. Column. What's it say below column?
Below column, animated headline which is what the name is, and I don't want it to animate it though, but I will work on that.
Okay.
Divider. I put a divider in an editor.
And you're on column layout, vertical alignment default. You go to advanced.
Okay.
Not sure.
Change text to come back first, and then we can work on that.
I'm not sure why it's what's pushing it over to the left.
Oh, I did it. So that's why I'm like, I was playing with the positioning. So I went to positioning and did it as 6 and whatever.
Oh, you have absolute position. Okay, so that's always going to be
Default.
coordinates from the top of the container. I would turn that off and try to work without the positioning.
So there, sorry, I'm moving it.
Yeah, that's better.
Oh,
Why don't you update that and then we can see what it looks like on our browsers.
exactly. Okay. Let me update that. Sorry. Default. So here. So that's what it is. See how the text is kind of, you can't read it. Even if I do white, it's not readable because of the positioning.
Yeah, it's typically where you'll do an overlay to darken the image a little bit.
Yeah, but you should be able to, there should be a way to get it positioned off to that side. That column is very small there in the center, and that's what, there must be a way to get that column full width.
So go under layout, column width is not here.
What happens when you put in 100 there?
Okay.
So why can't you have a 3-column layout and put the text in the left column?
Exactly. That's what I think would be.
Oh, sorry. I don't know what that was.
Yeah, why is it getting that decimal there?
I don't know how I got that. Delete. It won't. 0.999. I don't know what that is. Yeah, that's weird.
You can just undo at the bottom your history.
You Control Z a couple times.
Oh man. And that would be history would be.
Just refresh your page. It'll bring it back to where it was.
Okay, easy.
Yeah, that's another way.
Reload. Okay, I'm learning here. Okay, so I will do all of that and then maybe do it like a section on the side. Full width, you're saying?
I would get rid of the absolute positioning, do 2 columns and have that in the left column.
Okay.
You'd say have that be, whatever percentage you want.
Okay.
Maintain that area.
Okay.
Maybe a little padding so it's not up to the left side.
All right.
You have to tweak that on the tablet and mobile probably.
I will. I'll work on that.
Yeah, it's good to think of the I think it's good to think of the sections and the columns as kind of scaffolding for your page, so that you're kind of laying it out with that, so that everything's got that, so you don't have the stuff that kind of that doesn't really have a column. You kind of went outside the column, and that's going to get some strange behavior depending on the browser.
You have to be careful with positioning.
So Greg, on Sanjana's website right now, the section about me, let's say you want to lower that or raise it higher than your paragraph about yourself. Can you just quickly, because and this is on the non-pro version, though I think I'm going to upgrade here, but how would one move that? Because I'm
move what the about
okay,
me.
About me. Yeah, so let's say I want that higher than the paragraph or higher than it is right there within the
you could put a space between them if you wanted, or you could change the padding on either the about me or the.
So can you show me where you went for the padding again? Because I've been using advanced, but.
Yeah, click on about me.
Yeah.
Advanced.
Yeah.
Open up the advanced tab at the top.
Yeah.
Down below, yeah. Open that. And there's, you can adjust the padding. Just unclick the link at the right. You just wanted to add padding to the bottom.
Yeah, that hasn't been, okay. Maybe I'm doing something wrong because so that would raise it up or down?
Yes.
Well, it'll push the stuff below it down. If you wanted to raise it up, you could do a negative margin like you're doing now. That's appropriate.
Yeah, but then the rest of it moves. Okay. All I wanted to do was like take the about me, let's say, and just bring it, leave everything else there and bring that down, let's say closer to the line.
Go closer to the line?
Closer to the spacer. Let's say you want to put it closer to the spacer.
Go to the section and change the gap. The section of the blue part at the top.
Yeah.
Up higher. Yeah, there.
Yep.
And go to layout, column gap. Oh, you already have it on no gap.
Yep, no gap.
Exactly. So
it's the header. I wanted to change the header too, so that's my another question I have. There is so much room on the top and the bottom, and I want to reduce that, and it's not letting me do it.
You should be able to do that with the section height.
So you know what, guys? This Zoom allows remote control.
Yes.
While Sanjana is sharing, Greg, you can ask for remote control. She'll grant it, and then your mouse is on her computer.
Yep.
Where do I go?
Let's see. Yeah, view options up at the top where it says you are viewing Sanjana's screen. Click on view options and you'll see request remote control.
View options on her screen?
Yeah, well, up at the top of your screen, you have the green box that says you are viewing Sanjana.
Okay, view. I got you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Request remote control.
Very cool.
Oh, there we go.
And I can approve.
Yeah. Oh, I guess. Oh, that's right. Go ahead and click Open System Preferences. And scroll down on this all the way till you find Zoom. Should be at the end of the alphabet.
It's not there.
Oh, or over on the right where it says allow the apps below.
In the box?
In the box to the right. Yep, down. There you go. Check. Check that box.
You have to, I think you have to maybe click the lock first down in the
oh, there
corner
you go.
down there.
Click the lock, right, to allow changes.
There we go. And I need to enter.
Right. And isn't that clever? They always make them dots so we can't see. Yeah. So now check the box. And that's it. Yeah. Now I think you could close the your preferences. Yep. Just close that.
Yeah.
And now do you have remote control, Greg?
No, I don't. Oh, yeah, I do. Kind of
hey, look at that.
Look at that. Okay.
So now Greg can drive.
There's a lot of lag, I think, or something. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not able to click anything.
With this?
I can drag it around. No, I'm unable to select the widget area.
Huh.
I can drag your window, but that's about it. Let me see if I can.
This is where you need turbo meeting.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Maybe not now. I can do this. Yeah, but that's about it.
Click on edit page on that you see.
Click where? Edit page?
There's a yellow highlighted.
Oh.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Navigator section. There we go.
Oh. Oh, you're in the head. Oh, okay. You're in edit header now. Okay. So section.
Right.
You want to make it smaller?
Yes.
Less height?
Yes.
So minimum height.
So that makes it really big.
I'm just going to zero these out just to make sure. So none of those are pushing it up. See the widgets inside.
Could you find that in the inspect element section?
What about expanding the columns in the navigator and highlighting the different things and see if it looks like there's any additional space in any of the elements that are inside the columns, like maybe the nav menu or something. Maybe there's just something that's pushing it.
It's the logo, I feel like. That's
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see. Icon. Just to try and
Can you edit the icon?
let's go delete it just to see if it made a difference. Yeah.
Oh yeah, see, it's the logo. Maybe that went down away. So
The Control Z isn't bringing it back, so let's go grab again. Was it side logo? Yeah, okay. So you have the site logo set up in your theme?
oh, I haven't set it up.
Okay, so just an image?
Okay, just an image, yeah.
Yeah, if you have your site logo set up in the theme, you can just use the site logo.
Okay, that's huge.
Yeah, it was originally in there using icon, I think it was, but.
Yeah, it's the blue.
Is this it?
But image.
No, it's the blue one next to it.
This
Yeah.
one?
Yeah. Well, that's huge.
That big enough?
And I can make it smaller.
Go to custom.
Yep.
Height. That's a little too small.
Yeah. Maybe 100, 150. Oh, that's much better. Thank you. Whew. I like that.
No problem.
Thank you so much. I'm like, you don't see my logo. It's like so small. Yay.
Yeah, I was gonna say it would need some padding around it, but it actually looks kind of nice with that diagonal blue line going edge to edge on it. I like that look.
It's kind of cool.
What about the text in the middle under About Me? Would that go to the left, or do you leave it like that?
I'm going to move it to the left.
Okay.
Right. So.
You're good on that, right? Columns?
Fix that. No worries.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, and I can center or however I want to do it. I'm going to bring it down so it's not like in the middle. Look at my design talking. I don't like that. I can fix that. But yeah, the logo was really bothering me. And I'm going to work on this one too. The About Me page thing. But
Good start. Looks good.
yeah, thank you. And my other pages are pretty cool if you look at them. But I'm going to use your carousel stuff if you go to the pages section and stuff. Sorry, I'm sure everybody has stuff to do. They don't want to do my site. Learn from it. It's awesome. Thank you.
We're all learning from it.
I think
Since
we're over time.
so no worries.
Good.
I could go through the other widgets if you want.
Yes, please.
Okay.
And little tricks of the trade would be really, really cool. Also, if you like, if there's some last you know, some specific ones that
Sure,
are
I'll
kind of,
try to throw those in. I kind of threw them all together on
yes.
a page so we could look at them. This is a text editor. You're familiar with that. Video, we covered that.
Mm-hmm.
Buttons, dividers. I showed you all different dividers we have. Spacer, map, icon, I showed you that. Image box, when you get an image box, you can choose the image, the heading, and the description underneath. There's different ways to style that. Icon box is the same thing, except an image, you have an icon. Star rating, you have stars, you can change the icons to different things. Image carousel we covered. Basic carousel we covered. Icon list covered. Counter, you can have a counter that counts to a certain number. Progress bar, same type of thing. When someone comes to the page, that moves across. Testimonial, we use that. We didn't show you tabs. You can use tabs. Doug's familiar with tabs. They can be either horizontal or vertical. Accordion, which expands boxes one at a time. Have multiple open. With Jasper. Toggle's the same thing, except it closes the other one that's open. Or maybe not. Oh, it's the accordion that closes the other one. Toggle, you can have more than one open. Social icons. You can add whatever icons you want. It's all the icons. Put the link to your social media page. Alert boxes. You can choose between these. They just have different colors. SoundCloud. You can link to a SoundCloud file. Short codes, all you do is be able to put in a short code. HTML, again, add HTML to a page. Oops. Menu anchor, this is before when I told you could do a hashtag and a name. Whatever you put in here and wherever this is placed, that button will take you down to this position in the page. So this is called menu anchor. I go back up here to, I have a button up here is a button. Button, you can add menu tag here. So when you hit that button, maybe you have to be in preview. Takes you down to that location. And I think we're almost there. Sidebar, you can drop sidebar widgets anywhere you want on the page. Read more, that pertains to blogs. Those are all the free widgets. Any more questions? I think we're out of time.
I just had like a quick question.
Sure.
I have Astra theme, but I'm not really using it. I've been using the Hello theme. And what I wondered was, are there any benefits if you have Elementor Pro and you're using Hello? Are there any benefits to using a different theme besides the Hello theme?
No, I'm not sure. I don't use much of the themes. Once I get into Elementor, I do everything here.
Yeah.
I'll look into that for a future topic.
Yeah, it seems pretty flexible to do that, but I was just wondering if there was anything I'm missing. You know, I don't want to build around something. And, yeah.
I'm kind of wondering the same thing.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Yeah, so if we get really stuck on something, is there are we able to contact you, or is there someone out there that we can talk, not to build our, but we really get stuck on a specific item?
I'm usually around. You can contact me.
Okay.
Thank you, Greg.
Sure. Welcome.
Yeah, this is fantastic. Thank you.
Good. Well, a couple more next month. Hope you can all join us.
Next month? Ah, okay. I'll wait that long.
Is that too long? Too far away?
I would love every week, but next month I'll take it.
We'll see. I got to contact Elementor, see if they'll let me do it every week.
Nice to work on like a site I'm working and progression and show how far and what I can fix and what
I might take this same website and add some of the pro items to it.
Very cool.
Great idea.
Expand from there.
Thank you very much.
Very nice.
Welcome.
Thanks, Greg.
Yeah, thank
Good
you.
meeting you all.
Yes.
Everyone take care and be safe.
Take care now.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.